Hello and welcome to my workshop. So today we're going to be starting on a new project. And this is going to be a 1995 Toyota Tacoma Xtra cab. So we're going to be building this thing to go on a TF2 long wheelbase. And let's just get started with that. Okay, so I have the inner structure of the Tacoma pretty well sorted out. The bed, this is going to be the floor. I'm going to build up off of this. I have the inner fender wells done and then kind of cut out. Yeah, the fender openings are a lot larger once they're going to be on the outside skin. But what I wanted to do is have the inside tucked up in a little bit so it won't look like it's just straight in from the outside. So what I end up doing is coming back and creating vacuum molds down the sides of this that'll have the contour of the fender and the top of the where it goes into the bed and everything. And you make one for each side. Then I'll pull a vacuum on that, make a styrene piece, then glue it to this inner structure, and that'll start to build out the sides to look like the Tacoma. And basically just be continuing on that process. So, making a, kind of making a mold, making a piece, and then making a mold off of the piece you just made. That way you're getting everything just right as you're moving along. At the end, you'll end up with molds that will work together but it's really hard to do them all at one time, so better just kind of make them as you go and flow through the process. So let's just continue on. Okay, so I have most of the side panels finished up. These are obviously the rear for the bed, and as you can see, I have cut-ins for what will eventually be the tail lights. I've tried to carve in all the details here I could, including this little lip in here in the front. And what that'll do is I'll be able to cut the styrene after it's molded on here to that lip when it folds around, and that'll be give me a guide where to glue it on at the body. The tailgate, very simple. Now the latch isn't in there, but I'm just going to add that in later. Okay, so the front is going to include, obviously the door, and then the extra cab portion, and then the front fender. I have that classic arch to the fender, and you can see where it kind of bulges out. I've added in, the front and the back, this little styrene piece, which is just going to give it a little bit of a lip here. And also the start of the window for the back and the window for the door in the front. Now, like with the tailgate, I'll come in here and carve in the door openings once this piece is done. And, things like the hood, I've made recesses for along with this front light. But as you can see, like, this is what, I'm starting with. It's just MDF wood. I built this up in the back, and then I'm starting to shape this down. And what I'll end up having to do is, match this to this. And I started with making these lines, shaving, carving, using pretty much whatever I can get to make it look like this. And then once I get both these done, I'll be able to make the front. So, it's still a lot more work to do, but it's really making good progress on this. So let's just continue on with that. Okay, so both the sides have been finished up. All the edges cleaned up and glued onto the center structure here. I've added a little piece here in the front, and just kind of to tie this front end together and make sure that it remains square and the same distance apart. And I think it turned out pretty good. And things are moving along really nicely, and so far no major issues, which is always a good thing. So next we're going to focus on getting the hood. And so again, we'll just go back to taking a piece of wood, a little piece of it's actually MDF, and shaping it, front to back, getting the contour, a little bit of an arch going side to side. And I think there's some, if I remember right, there's some details kind of running down the center. Get that carved in. Then we'll start working on the roof and the windscreen and the rear. I'm not sure about the rear. Possibly it might be the easiest thing is just to scratch build it. I believe it's pretty much straight across, but we'll see. And then yeah, just continue on. All right, so let's get to that. So I think I've come to a good stopping point for this video. We have the front put together, all tied up together. The bed is pretty much complete. I still got a couple little details here and there. And then the roof has this one piece front to back. Needs to be glued in place, obviously, but that should look really nice, as well as the hood. And I'll have to get that glued in place. To finish up, I need the windscreen. I need to cut in the details for the doors, the front grille, the lights. Just a lot of little details to go, but shouldn't be much more. And this one will be all finished up. A lot of fun stuff coming up. Really looking forward to it. Until then, we'll see you in the rocks.